Hello students, welcome to today's lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to see about narrowband Internet of Things, that is NB-IoT. So it is a recent cellular radio access technology based on long-term evolution. So for low power wide area networks. So the main aim of NB-IoT is to support massive machine type communication and enable low power, low cost and low rate data communication. We are going to see in detail. So narrowband IoT, so it is a third generation partnership project 3GPP completed in 2015. The formation of a working group to integrate voice cellular Internet of Things technology, that is NB-IoT, which is standardized with the partnership of Cambridge-based Newell and Vodafone, and LTE technology introduced by Nokia, Ericsson and Intel. So this combination is a result which is a standard. So the first NB-IoT standard was completed in June 2017 and has been included in 3GPP release 13. So 3GPP determined 5 targets. Okay, so the targets for machine type communication. So the target were to improve indoor coverage in high loss location and to enable continuously the increasing number of IoT devices, to lower the cost of process, procedure and units, to enable less power consumption and to support latency features. So these are all the 5 targets which are set NB-IoT. So the support of the world most telecommunication companies, the fact that the existing wireless networks can deploy the technology and the fact that the technology can be operated in an authorized frequency band are the 3 factors that ensure a solid and stable industrial development for this technology. So NB-IoT particularly aims to serve through low throughput IoT application. So the NB-IoT particularly aims at to serve low throughput IoT application. So it is designed to have better coverage and minor cost than the other IoT cellular technologies. So NB-IoT supports the connection of million MTC devices and applications. So this connection is characterized by low throughput, infrequent data transmission. So a strategy of 2 levels is adopted by 3GPP to handle different challenges imported with MTC services. So the first level is the transition strategy. So the first level is the transition strategy that targets to reuse and upgrade the existing network in order to support IoT applications. So the second level is a continuing long-term strategy that will come up with a new wireless radio technology NB-IoT, which will enable the increasing demand for IoT services and devices. So next we are going to see about the technology. So what about the technology? It deals with high power efficiency and coverage and latency sensitivity, and also the spectrum resources and technical features. So coming to high power efficiency. So in IoT technology, it is required that the battery lifetime should last at least 10 years for low data rates and subband, that is 1 GHz frequency. So this requirement is fulfilled in NB-IoT by 2 technologies. So one is including power saving mode, that is PSM, and then expanded discontinued reception, that is EDRX. So in power saving mode, the NB-IoT device is still registered but not available for downlink transmission in order to send more information. So that is expanded discontinued reception is a new technology that allows extended sleep durations and decreases unnecessary wake up for receiving downlink transmission. So there is a relationship between the battery lifetime. Okay, so there is a relationship between the battery lifetime and also coupling loss. There is a relationship between a battery lifetime and coupling loss experienced by the end devices until the data reaches the base station. So here the uplink and transmission and downlink transmission. So this is for power saving mode, and this is for power saving mode, and this is for expanded discontinued reception. So the coupling loss increases significantly power consumption. So it is estimated that a 5-watt battery can last for 11 years, transmitting 25 bytes per hour in a 154 decibel coupling loss environment. So from an industrial deployment point of view, the result of this power consumption is totally approved for the majority industrial applications. So different values of battery lifetime under different circumstances of radio channels and loss and data rates are shown. So that is battery life in a coupling loss configuration. So for message size 144 and then decibel, 154 decibel and 164 decibel. So 50 bytes per 2 hours, that is 22.4, 11 and 2.5. So 200 bytes per 2 hours, that is 18.2, 5.9 and 1.5. So 15 bytes per day, and there is 36, 31.6 and 17.5. So over 200 bytes per day, that is 34.9, 26.2 and 12.8. The next is coverage and latency sensitivity. So next is coverage and latency sensitivity. So in a study made by Aalborg University in Denmark, a commercial cellular network that is composed of 2G, 3G and 4G deployments was used. So the study was deployed in 708,000. So the study was deployed in 7,800 kilometers square of urban and rural areas. So the total area consisting of 319 sites provided with sectorized antennas with beam radiations of 65 degrees of average gain 17 decibel. So this study considered the transmitted power, which is equal to 23 decibel in uplink transmission and 43 decibel in downlink transmission for following the standard protocol in 3GPP. So 3GPP rural macro non-line site model was used as the channel model in rural scenarios. So the result related to NBIoT shows that the technology achieved less than 1% outage capacity in outdoor coverage. More than 99% of data was successfully delivered. For indoor of 20 decibel breakthrough loss urban area, end devices achieved about 1% outage capacity due to maximum link loss of 164 decibel, which is significantly better than other unlicensed technology. So the result has been confirmed by the simulated data of TR45.820, which provides coverage for 164 decibel coupling loss for a test presented in broadband and in-band deployment. So NB-IoT may encounter considerable interference because of using LTE systems existing network. However, this issue can be solved by upgrading the core network of NB-IoT for long-term improvement. So in this scenario with less than 1% outage capacity and full coverage, latency increases because of fast retransmission of missing data. However, simulated data of TR45.820 shows that the latency is between 6 and 10 seconds of full coverage for maximum coupling loss. As a consequence, coverage and latency, which are inversely related in NB-IoT. So compared to coverage of GSM, NB-IoT has 4 times larger radius coverage than in GSM, in which maximum data link loss is 144 decibel for a device transmitted power 33 decibel. As mentioned before, the main goal when designing NB-IoT is to achieve an enhancement in coverage of 20 decibel at least over cellular standard. increasing the maximal retransmission times in downlink and narrowing the bandwidth with enhance the coverage of NB-IoT, although uplink transmitted power is 10 decibel, which is less than in GSM, only 23 decibel in NB-IoT. The technical features for feature development, that is mobility and multicast, and then localization. So mobility, in the latest class specification of 3GPP release 13, NB-IoT was designed to support static N nodes. In R14, handover between cells in connected states will be supported. N nodes measurement reporting will also be supported because it is required to enable switchover. So multicast, that is downlink transmission, is supported in NB-IoT with the future of fast retransmission from a base station to N nodes. But R13 does not provide sending the same message to a large number of N nodes, which could waste the system bandwidth. So multicast could be supported in R13 as a typical possibility in IoT. So localization, some features like positioning reference signal PRS and sounding reference signal are disabled in NB-IoT in order to save power, which results in the inability to localize N nodes accurately. So new features can be added in the future to handle with localization issues. So next is deployment models in NB-IoT. So currently the NB-IoT works under the condition of 3GPP specification, which provides only frequency division duplex with a bandwidth of 180 kHz for 3 deployment scenarios. So that is one is standalone scenario. So the NB-IoT uses the frequency band outside the bands used by LTE. So here the LTE band, narrowband, here the non-LTE wireless channels like GSM. Next one is the guard band mode. So the frequency on the edge of LTE is utilized. So here the single LTE band, another single LTE band. So it is guarding the LTE narrowband. So next one, in-band mode. So in-band mode is the one source resource block is used in the frequency band of LTE. So here the single LTE band, which one block of resources used by LTE narrowband. So next is the network architecture. So it includes NB-IoT end devices and then NB-IoT base station, NB-IoT core network, NB-IoT cloud-based server and applications by end users. So NB-IoT device, end devices, most of the IoT devices used for industrial purpose, which are provided with access to NB-IoT network if they have a proper SIM card from NB-IoT telecom service providers. So the base stations, which is owned by telecom service provider and supports all deployment modes. So this can be also called as evolved base station, that is E node B or ENB. So NB-IoT core network, the bridge connection between the base stations and the NB-IoT cloud. So the NB-IoT core network is a legacy of evolved packet system used by LTE, which is modified to suit NB-IoT deployments. So these modifications include two optimization of the cellular Internet of Things. One is control plane optimization, another one is user plane CIoT optimization. So next, the NB-IoT cloud-based server. So the cloud platform that process all different types of data traffic. Okay, so all different types of data and its application, instead of doing that in end devices to save power and extract complexity from the end nodes. So the applications which are used by the end user to collect the data from the nodes or sensors about a specific purpose. So here the architecture, which have evolved packet core network, the mobile management entity which connected to the cloud server and then to application server, So that is through MME. So and CIoT, RAN, and then E node B. So NBIoT terminals, N nodes, this and U is the user equipment, and EBS is the evolved packet system. So the fact that network architecture of NB-IoT is designed based on the LTE network with a particular modification to enable NB-IoT services, which could be an advantage for using NB-IoT technology in future smart cities and industrial applications. Because of this guaranteed QoS and high data rate support. So next one I'm going to security. So the secured process. So all IoT technologies share basically similar requirements for security. The NB-IoT has some differences which is related to low power feature. So peripherals in conventional IoT technologies contain complicated transmission protocol. So peripherals in conventional IoT technologies contain complicated transmission protocol and security planning, which demand high power consumption and frequent battery charging. However, NB-IoT nodes, N nodes are low power. So here the N nodes are low power devices that is not designed to handle complex and high energy security issues. So consequently, any simple security vulnerability can lead to larger security problem, especially in large scale networks like NB-IoT supported with lightweight security systems. So NB-IoT supports security requirements through IoT architecture, which consists of three layers: perception layer, transmission layer, and application layer. So here the devices which parts the secure hardware and devices for complex security tasks. The gateway which secure communication through legacy wireless base stations, and then the application service or the secured cloud and identification and authenticated in encryption. Authentication and encryption. So the perception layer is corresponding to the physical layer and data link layer in the OSI model and is considered to be the basis for higher layers and services. So this layer includes N-node like metering devices, temperature sensors, etc. So transmission layer NB-IoT, which deploys a network for a large layer or whole city. So therefore, not only many security problems can be avoided, but also maintenance and easier management can be achieved compared to conventional IoT network. So a massive number of N nodes can be served by one NB-IoT network. So application layer is the last station of data. At this layer, the data is stored, analyzed, processed, and managed sufficiently. So a much larger amount of data is received at the application layer coming from the perception and transmission layers of NB-IoT than in conventional IoT systems due to large scale. So NB-IoT performs efficient data integrity verification and synchronization methods. So many mechanisms are used to deal with different problems related to massive heterogeneous data, including mechanism to delete the duplicate data, mechanism to deconstruct from the node itself. So that's all about NB-IoT. So far we have discussed about narrowband IoT and its features and its network architecture and its deployment models with security. Thank you for listening.